All this time I realized I've never done a video on the work that I did in the unfinished part of my parents' basement, which is my fan shop, and also their laundry room and storage room and whatnot. It's not just my fan shop. So, maybe 10 years ago, I think, maybe a little bit more than that, I was getting frustrated with the lighting and electrical down here. I kept tripping circuit breakers with too much stuff on everything in the whole basement was on one breaker. And it was very dark down here, and it was lit entirely by porcelain sockets that none of them were on a switch. They were all on pull chains, and the pull chains kept breaking. We'd have to replace a socket like once every couple months. And I got really tired of it. And someone had given me this little short fluorescent fixture. A little 2-foot, 2-bulb fixture there. And there'd never been a light in this hallway. And so I mounted it there just kind of to see, and was pleasantly surprised at how much it changed the lighting down here. So I got the idea to put these fluorescent fixtures between the rafters, and it makes a world of difference. They're being raised up between the rafters. It makes the light much more pleasant down here, as well as it makes the ceiling feel taller, because the light's coming from higher up and there's nothing hanging below. And I put everything in the whole basement on switches here, because I would always forget and leave a light on somewhere in the back, and then I would get yelled at for that, and so I thought it'd be easier to have everything all in one place. So it was a lot of work. It's all done with conduit. I used as much of the original conduit as possible, and then added some, but made sure to make it look like it was part of the original conduit. And I did that because if you're going to have the lights above the rafters, the last thing you want is a lot of wires running below them. So all the lighting is on its own circuit now, and I added a couple more circuits of outlets and things, and split up other circuits and whatnot. So there's 4 switches for each portion of the basement. The rooms that you're seeing here, this little storage workroom area, and the laundry area here, are one set of switches, and then the fan shop area is the second. So I have it set in pairs, so you can turn off half the lights and still look like it's fully lit. So the first switch is this light here, and that one there. Second switch is the same down this way. Third switch adds the extra lights in this section. Fourth one down there. So if you just turn on the first 2, you have the whole area lit but half the lighting. And the second row of switches does the same thing for the second room. You can't really see that from here. This first switch is 2 rows of lighting, second one. Third one is that back row that goes along the whole. And then the fourth one is the fans, and there's also 1 light on that switch, and I'll show you that in a second. You may remember that this area is currently a mess because I'm pulling everything out to get to fans for the museum. So, also have, this used to be a workbench here, and I've got these extra lights over the workbench that are on this switch here. Now, they turn off over here with that switch, but you can also turn them off separately. It looks like that bulb is going out. Not surprising. Oh, there it goes. These are the same bulbs that have been in there for 10 years, so it wouldn't be surprising. I've had to change a few of the fluorescents, but none of the compact fluorescents. And it's the same with any other place that there's what I would call accent lighting. Here, this light over the water heater has this switch, but also goes on and off with that one. Same with this. This is the only place I have a daylight bulb used, and it's on the circuit with the fans. and also on its own pull chain here. 2 switches here for these. All the switches that I used in these little ceiling boxes are vintage. They were all vintage new in box that I picked up at Habitat. And some of them are mercury, some of them are push button. This one here, there's this light back here. That's a push button switch. And the same with these over here. Oh, that's that one. Now, I don't think, other than experimenting with turning some of them off for filming videos, I don't think I've ever used any of the extra switches. I just leave everything on. But that's because I use this space a lot. If I wasn't using the space, I'd probably turn off all the extra switches and just leave the main lighting on. So, hope some of you find that interesting.